Welcome to a new season of Heel versus Men on Card, the series where we take action figures and we open them because they should be loose and to breathe. I want to talk about a couple of things before we get started on this. Get the plugs out of the way. Go to 10universe.blogspot.com for all 10 Universe stuff. To have updates on our upcoming web series and comics and our Patreon and a bunch of other stuff. But besides the plugs, I also wanted to explain the series a little bit since we haven't did SMEs in a while. It's not about whether people like men on card or like loose figures. Whichever one's your thing is fine. Have fun with whatever you do. I have friends who are men on card collectors of action figures and other things, not just action figures, men on card, but like figurines and other things. And other people like them loose. I like things loose. I like doing figure photography, which you can check out the Instagram for our figure photography page, which is WCWA Wrestling on Instagram. And by the way, there's periods. It's W.C. You get the gist of it. On the Instagram, I didn't think out that name very well, but you can check out our figure photography there. But Hill versus Men on Card it's kind of a joke between me and another friend, figure collectors on collecting and stuff. But whether you like Men on Card or not, it's up to you, and it's fine. The figures I'm going to discuss today is this set of the fabulous Freebirds. Jakks Classic. They were Jakks, weren't they? I think so. Yeah. Classic Superstar set. I wasn't like a collector at the time when these came out, so I didn't get these. I bought this set at Melbourne Toy and Comic Con last year, and it's a yearly convention, so check it out if you're local, Melbourne, Florida. Check out the Melbourne Toy and Comic Con. And I picked this up from one of the vendors. The vendor, at the time, like, I first come in, and I remember seeing a couple of the Jakks figures they had, and I was like, oh, they didn't have anything I was really interested in a whole lot. And I asked him, I was like, do you have any more Jakks Superstar figures? And he was like, no. But, like, when we were leaving the convention, actually, like, going out the door to leave, I spotted this set there. And because I am a person who opens figures, the only time I really don't open them is if I get them signed. I don't spend a fortune on figures if I'm going to have to open them, but if it's about the same price as a set of like newer figures that I would be opening, I'll pay it and then open it. I only paid like $30 for this whole set, which isn't that much when you consider the price of Elite figures and now the sets they got out now. So I wanted to get. I loved the fabulous Freebirds as a kid. I thought they were probably the best heel group ever. I don't count the Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes team as Freebirds as a fan, but I get Michael Hayes wanting him to be in the Hall of Fame with them because it was his friend. So if you look at the packaging, these are really good packaging, by the way. I love the packaging they did on the Jakks figures. Even if you aren't the biggest fan of the figures being, realistic and proportion size and everything else, like, the packaging was always really cool, and I thought it always stood out in stores because I remember seeing them even when I wasn't collecting them. And on the back it has bio information on each of the Freebirds, and then I guess the other set at the time was this Hogan Beefcake Jimmy Hart. I still gotta get some kind of Jimmy Hart figure. I don't have any Jimmy Hart figures. But I am going to open this now and see what the figures look like. I grew up watching one of the wrestling I was able to get as a kid. It was World Class Wrestling. So seeing the Freebirds versus Von Erichs was always a big thing to me. And speaking of the Von Erichs and the Freebirds, like, even though with like problems I might have, see, that's not a bad background. Somebody want to use it for figure photography if you look at it. You can even use it as like an NXT thing with a big X on it. But I don't have any Von Erich figures either. I guess they didn't make many. I think they came out with one set. Oh, so the first figure showing Michael P.S. Hayes, and he's got a robe here, and of course, like normally the Freebirds would have had like the Union Jack on the robe, but I see for figures and stuff, and his PS on here. It's a pretty good quality robe, I think, even for that time.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message.
Go down.
The Old Persons Information Control Center in Tampa has said it is closing its doors. After to quote someone, too many have discovered what our true goals are. What they meant by that is unknown, but saying anything against them or asking any more questions of any type violates their right to religious freedom. So we believe that bit of news is done. Also in this news report, the Beyond Human terrorist, Anchor, has struck again against Freedom, America, as he attacked a homeless reframing squad in Orlando. The HRS were stopped from their herding job, and now Miami will never get their yearly shipment of homeless. How a government clandestine official is supposed to make a living these days with illegal actions like these. The Pulpy Air Force Space Wing emailed us some news today. The new PAFSW patches have arrived. You can get them in Velcro or sewing form. Remember, it is illegal to wear these in public. You can find the new patches for $57.50 at any local Air Force base or bridal shop. Proceeds go to the National Pulpy Library. It's filling up quick now that photos and art representing him is no longer illegal. Today's special is green tea iced coffee. It tastes like seaweed that was previously soaked in peat. This has been an important official independent breaking news alert. We're fully sponsored by We are sponsored by your friends and lovers. Breaking news is voiced by Brittany Wood, and she would like everyone to know that this was just another paying gig. That coded information hidden in the sounds of her voice has nothing to do with her. Breaking news is written by and edited by a gallbladder surprise.
There we go. I think that got his arms down pretty good. But it's not a bad figure. Like I said, I know people, and I was like this a little bit at the time, and one of the reasons why I didn't collect the Jakks toys is I really didn't think they did a great job, and it's just probably with Freebirds on the back of his pants too, on the likenesses and stuff. I didn't like the bulkiness. More than anything else, the reasons why I didn't like a lot of the Jakks figures was the bulkiness. Like, everybody was jacked. It was like everybody was on steroids in these figures. But the Michael Hayes is a really cool figure. I think that's a good addition to anybody's collection, especially if they were a big Freebirds fan. I'm surprised they haven't done more Freebirds, but I don't know if that's a Michael Hayes thing or WWE just doesn't think. I know the classic, even though so many of us classic fans would love for them to do more classic figures and stuff like that, they don't sell that great. I mean, it's the whole thing with like, why did they do 8 billion John Cena figures? Because John Cena figures sell. And you always got somebody new, it's their first one. And next figure, Fabulous Freebirds, Buddy Roberts. I mean, another thing, like, what would you do if you could choose them to do anything? You know, like, maybe do a Buddy Roberts in his headgear. It's like paint stain on the back of his trunks. You can see it. But it's probably because he's been in the packaging for so long with this robe right up against it. But this is a neat figure. It's like his robe's like one of those old-fashioned, almost like boxing wrestling robe jackets. I wasn't the hugest Buddy Roberts fan, but I thought he was always almost like the Tully Blanchard of that group. He drew the heat, where the other ones drew like the fans liked them in a way. They were cool. Like Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy was cool in a lot of ways. That Buddy Roberts was the heat man. And it was like with the Four Horsemen, like people right away, like Arn was cool because he's a tough guy. I mean, fucking nobody liked Ole. I'm sorry, nobody liked Ole Anderson. Even then, fans didn't like him in any way. I don't think then, because it was like a new generation was watching when the Horsemen came. My generation, but everybody loved Flair because he was cool, but people hated Tully, like fucking hated him, and he was the one I always thought drew the heat for them. I like his Terry Gordy. I'm a big Terry Gordy fan. I think it's pretty cool. He's got a rubbery, which is weird because like Michael Hayes and Buddy Roberts have gotten cloth ring gear, and he's got a rubber jacket. I don't know if it's because his jacket was supposed to be more leather-like, but it does have almost like a brownish tone to it. But it's not bad. I can do Freebirds photos now. But I think that like it's a pretty cool set overall. Like you got Michael Hayes in his robe, Terry Gordy, and then you got Buddy Roberts. And of course, with the Jakks, you don't have the scale there, and it's always been one of my problems with them that you would have. I like the modern figures because they tried, I think, making an attempt to get more of the scale right on the bigger figures and the smaller ones. They don't always get them right, though. I mean, but if you don't mind that aspect, Jakks are great. And by the way, you can get a lot of the Jakks figures loose and carded for not bad prices, really, if you're a collector and stuff like that. Like, if you look online, they must have made a lot of these because, like, they sold pretty good from what I understand. And then, like, they still are all over the place, some of them. So, that's a really good set of Freebird figures. And I highly recommend, if you can find footage of it online, checking out the Von Erich Freebird feud anywhere if you can. What else would I recommend from the Freebirds? Terry Gordy's stuff in Japan is just awesome. Like I think Terry Gordy's stuff in Japan is just really cool. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube that you can find with like the Freebirds and places like Georgia Championship Wrestling and other areas. Mid-South, I don't know if all the great Freebird stuff is in Mid-South. I think some of it in there. I know the actual incident where they blinded a Junkyard Dog, there's film of it, but overall, I read on the Freebirds. One thing I've thinking lately when watching the Vice documentary on wrestling, which I would highly recommend checking out. I think the Freebirds would make a really good documentary if you do it right. Because you look at Terry Gordy and like Michael Hayes started out so young in this business and really did a lot. I mean, Terry Gordy died really young, but he did a lot in this business because he was around for so long. And they were revolutionary in a lot of ways. I mean, they might not have been the first people to come out with music, but they were the first people where their music was a huge part of their presentation and what they did. And I just think overall, if you look at the like I said, the Von Erich feud, yes, the later years when you had Jimmy Garvin in there, I don't think it was a mistake that Jimmy Garvin was a Freebird. I think it was a mistake Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes were a Freebird at the same time. And I know that everybody's like, you can't have a Freebirds without Michael Hayes, which is true. But like they were the same type of character. And then Jimmy Garvin was trying to be tough like the other Freebird. So like, I don't think it really worked because Michael Hayes really didn't play the tough guy. He played the mouth guy. And like Buddy Roberts was the Weasley little guy that would cheat and stuff, and then you had Gordy was the like I'll fuck him up all guy. So I think overall the Freebirds legacy, they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I understand Garvin being in there because Hayes is taking care of his friend, and so like I said that we're gonna be doing more of these, so this is like a new season. I've got a huge stack of figures. Let me see. They use on the show. I got Ninja Turtles figures, Rick and Morty figures. What we got? WWE figures, Star Wars, Game of Thrones. Got a lot of different variety of figures we're going to be putting on Hill vs. Venom card. So I highly recommend coming back here. We'll try to do at least one a month in one episode, because we got a lot of shows here on 10 Universe Presents. So I highly recommend checking out all that stuff. Check out the trees trailers as they come out, and our TikTok videos, which you can find us on TikTok at 10 Universe, but our videos are also up on here. We got all our podcasts are on here. If you would rather listen to them on YouTube, our podcast from 10 Universe's podcast network, which is 10 Pod Radio. Check it out, because there's like original audio dramas on there, and adaptions of some of our books are on there, and a lot of cool stuff. As I said, go to 10universe.blogspot.com for all things 10 Universe, and I hope everybody has a good weekend. See you later. Someone has created a very strong glimmer on the planet Earth. It's hiding something powerful. The only reason to do such a thing is because you have a very, very big plan in motion. And usually that means I'm going to get knee deep into trouble. I hate going back to Earth. I really do. Some spots worse than others.